Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Confusion Reigns beginning playthrough. I have the entire table set up, but the camera doesn't need to film the entire thing, so the bottom half of the table is capped off. And if we can switch to this guy, it's what you're looking at from sort of a maybe up on a hill view. Don't know how much I'll be moving camera number 1. We'll be primarily focusing on camera 2 here. Got enough to deal with as far as running the game, playing both sides without dealing with cameras too. So we'll see how that goes. And of course we could do this shot, or we could do that shot. But we'll leave it here. Let's see. We'll leave it here to start, and then if I remember to do so, I'll switch back and forth from time to time as warranted by a gameplay. And I've added some stuff since the trailer. I've been busy with other things. I didn't mean to take this long to film, but as the saying goes, life intervenes, and in a good way. I had some company from out of town and some other things going on, so there's that. But as I stated a second ago, I have added more things. So I have orchards now. I added a few more walls, which are the gray things. I added a little more as far as the trees go. I don't know if you can see the dark, tall pine trees. And I've added more buildings, so I've thickened it up a little bit, and I've added some shrubbery along the bottoms of the woods hexes, so you don't see the plastic stumps of the trees so much. It's a minor aesthetic thing, but it's a thing. And I guess to recap, and I should warn, this will probably be a long first video. What do we got going on here? We have a loud car going by, but besides that, this is San Mariglis, June 7th, 1944. I would say consider this the edge of San Mariglis, not the town as such. And we're looking at roughly fairly balanced scenario of 12 German squads and 12 US squads. And as far as victory goes, I'm going by casualty points. I had mentioned I might make certain hexes victory point hexes. Why don't we go ahead and designate that now? We'll make this a victory point hex worth a random amount. We don't know how much yet. We will roll a die to determine that. And to recap where everybody's at, because I've got them hidden pretty good. We've got German squad here, and a German squad here. And the stone buildings, German squad and stone buildings. So the gray buildings are of course stone, and the red are wood. German squad here in the woods, German squad here in the woods. And the way these were set up is you have to find a certain hex that coincides with the ASL map boards and set them up, all soldiers within, 4 to 6 hexes, I don't remember exactly what, of that hex. So that is why they're set within a certain boundary and not spread out more. 2 squads here, including I believe, medium machine gun, and a squad here. German squad here with a light machine gun. German squad here. German squad here. German squad with a light machine gun in the wood buildings here. A leader and a German squad with a light machine gun in the church hex. And we have, as far as Americans go, American squad with a medium machine gun here. 2 American squads with some toys and a 9-2 leader here. 3 squads and a leader there. 3 squads and a leader there. And I believe just 3 squads there. That should cover it. And I have special markers so I don't forget, because again, these guys blend in fairly well with their terrain along here, designating the hex rows or spines in which I can expect to find German squads. And I don't know if I'll keep that up, but for game start, that will certainly help. Then we have, what do we have? We have, is that it? I think that's it. Let's just hop right into it. This will be the rally phase, nothing going on here, as there are no broken squads. And again, for those of you that are unfamiliar with me and how I play this, there are some things I will leave out intentionally. There are some things I will forget. There are some things I will do incorrectly. So, as usual, don't look to this video as a how to play video. This is for entertainment purposes only. And we'll leave it at that. So, it is the Americans, I believe, rolling in first. Is it not? Yeah, Germans set up first, Americans move first, and let's just roll. And I won't be doing any house ruling as far as weird stuff that flavor things that I typically add. I'm just going to do the ASL rules. Alright, so we have these three squads here should try and move, again, establishing that church as a victory hex, and I feel like I should, and this is house ruling, which I said I wouldn't do. But in the victory conditions for the scenario, the Germans gain victory points for exiting off the map board, and I don't have the extra map board that should be here for them to exit off of. So it would be unfair to allow that victory condition, considering they have half the distance they would typically have to go to exit off of a map board. So I've scrubbed that victory condition, stuck with the casualty points and victory hexes. So church, and again, I feel like there should be something here. I'll use these little markers here to designate victory hexes. We'll put one here, and we'll put one here. Alright, that's how we'll do it. So, rather than the Americans just sitting back, or the Germans just sitting back, actually the Germans probably will sit back, that's typically what they do. Fighting in a backward manner, from 44 on, June at least. Occasional attacks, but trying to figure out, okay, so let's move these guys up towards this stone, behind the stone wall here, or attempt to. So if I put him here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Is he in line of sight of anybody? He is not as of yet. He would be if this woods hex wasn't here from these guys. And from these guys, so that woods blocks line of sight. I'm going to argue that this stone wall, since it is where it is in proximity to these guys, is going to block line of sight, so we're good. That is until we get to, so that's 1, 2, keep track of his movement points, because I forget things. So now he's cozy here behind the woods and the stone wall, but he is also now within line of sight of this German squad, and I think what they're going to do is fire at him, so let's take care of that. So here's the American squad being fired at by this German squad. I hope these markers help you keep track of what's going on. German squad firing at American squad. Now all these German squads are 4.67s, and all the U.S. squads are 7.47s. So he won't get his assault -1 non-assault movement bonus. That is to say the German, because he didn't, or he will. He will get his -1 negative assault movement bonus, but he's not moving in the open for this shot. So let's go to this, and for the 4, put this here for 4 and -1. Let's see what we get. Oh, he's behind the stone wall as well, so there's that. I think the wall is, what is the stone wall? Where's this? I forget. 2? Is it 2? 3? So we need to add that. Alright, so what do we got? So he cowered because he rolled doubles, so that sucks. He's going to have nothing on this. So he rolled a 4. We might be able to get a pin-task check out of this. 4 -1 brings it to 3, back up. Brings it to normal morale check already. Alright, so the German squad's going to take a morale check. I need a 7 or less on this. He got a 7, he's fine. Do I want to keep moving? No. You know what? I just blew the prep fire phase, but I'm going to say that nobody's in line of sight yet, or range, and that is in fact the case, so we're good there. I guess I was eager to move. We'll check that again. I will argue nobody has line of sight here on anything because of hills. Now I do have these single hexes joined together in some spots, raised above. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe this is a good time for this view. There we go. This view. You can see those hexes on the right are raised up. Those do in fact qualify as hills for purposes of this game. And we'll go back here. So, passing morale check. Does he want to continue? No, he's going to stay there. He's done. I need a he's done thing. He's done. What does that bring us to? Oh, and these roads here. I didn't have these roads here earlier. Those will act as roads do in ASL as far as movement bonus. Just a flat sheet of corkboard that I cut these out of. Worked out pretty nice. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, you could argue it's got the golf course syndrome, but you know, short of making it so realistic again, I mean, if this was true to life, you wouldn't be able to see through any tree canopy, wood stuff, and it's like, how do you, anyway. That's that. Do we want residual fire there? Yeah, we probably should put residual fire there. Okay. Residual fire. We need to mark him with a first fire. Because he first fired. Even though he did relocate to a new hex, he is still out of line of sight of this German squad here. What about these guys here? I need a line of sight tool. Where's my line of sight tool? I used to have a line of sight tool that was a living small, about inch high dwarf, and you could set him on the table, and he would yell really loudly if I had line of sight or not. But he died. I don't know. He got sick, and I'll miss him. I don't have line of sight from there, and that's it. So they're good. They're cozy. They're where they're at. They're staying. We have 2 more American squads here that will attempt to do the same thing. That is to say, you know what? No, let's do the same thing, because we're going to be overstacked if we try and move there. So that's 1, 2. And portage points are not a problem because they're only moving 2 hexes. He is carrying a medium machine gun. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he is the same distance from the other guy, so you could argue this guy could first fire again, add as area fire, flip that to final fire. It's going to be sucky odds, but we cowered last time, so it's basically the same shot if you think about it. Unless we cower again. I don't think we will. We don't cower again, but we rolled a crappy roll, and it would have been -1, and that brings us to nothing, no result. So he's done. Mark him as such. And then I should be good to go with these guys. That is to say, 3 squads and a leader in these wood buildings are going to relocate to the stone buildings, and those guys don't have crap to say about it. So, I don't know what to tell you. You German sympathizers out there, you're just going to have to suck it up. Alright, there we are with that. And they're done. Mark them as such for having moved into the stone buildings. One could argue a savvy veteran move. And so that changes a couple of things, because we may now have line of sight to that newly entered, we do, not from there, but from here, from that German squad, and then from, this German squad here. So we've got to take care of that. Let's start with this guy here. So more first fire counters. Let's mark him first fired. He's going to also be just a 4, -1, add 3, +2, roll a 5, add 2, that's a 7. It's a pentastic. Well, alright. Pentastic check it. Make you happy. Leader first, 7 or less. He fails. Leader has failed. Leader's pinned. Why did you pin? You're not making me happy. Next, 7 or less. He pinned. You know what? That would be the... No, we're good. Next. Sometimes I get little blips because these aren't stacked as they would be in the actual game. So even though they're spread out, I have to remember or pretend that though they're in the same hex, not stacked, they are in fact stacked. If that makes any sense. 4, 5, 6. Ooh, he passed. And finally, a fail. So all of them got pinned, even though they're in stone buildings, except for one squad. By the fire of, he has range to that. Tell you what, these 4, 6, 7s aren't that. You could argue they're not that deadly, but they do have good range. I mean, especially when you compare them to the American paratroopers here, who have a 2 hex less range than their foes, and that factors in over time. Actually, it factors in fairly quickly. Not done though, because we have this squad here that's going to do the same thing, firing on the 4 column with +2 modifier. He cowers. That goes to a 2 column. And that's going to be nothing because that's an 8, 10, nothing. So he's done nothing, and that's that. Are we good now? Yes. I think we're good there. Let's move to the other side of the table. And switch a couple camera angles for you just for entertainment purposes. That's where we're at there. Back to that. Let's leave that on that angle for the because it's just those hexes that we're dealing with for this latter part of the movement phase, and I'll switch the camera back. Let's see here. It would be nice. I guess it'd be nice to move up to these wood buildings, but I don't know that. Let's just go ahead and say hindrance on the orchard here. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So let's move this squad here. See what happens on the light machine gun that's going to fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the inherent firepower and a leader modifier from the church hex. There will be a line of sight hindrance for the orchard here. He will get his salt move if he stays here, but he is moving in the open. That's not the open. It is the open because that hex side is open. So, all right, let's work out the math here. It's going to be 3, 7, minus 1. Hold on. There's no 7 columns. We dropped to 6. Minus 1 for the leader. Minus 2. Let's roll it. That is an 8. Does not cower. It wouldn't cower anyway because he's got the leader directed fire. It drops to 6. Is a 1 + 1 morale check on that guy. Gonna need 7 or less, add 1. He gets a 6, add 1 is 7. He's fine. And I forgot to rate a fire on that light machine gun. Let's mark those guys and put residual fire there. I don't know if I'm gonna fiddle with a fire lane. I guess I could. Should I fiddle with a fire lane? And you would argue that I have to, because this light machine gun is in the building in the squad, and he would have a covered arc, right? If he's firing from a building, or is that just a medium or a heavy machine gun? I don't remember. Does it apply to a light machine gun as well? The covered arc firing from a building, fire lane. Let's say it does. Now if I move here, he doesn't have, I don't know why I didn't do this to begin with. But if I move here, he's got nothing. Suppose this guy, no, he's got nothing either until I move here. And no. Yeah, he does. Let's move everybody here and deal with this like such. And he's going to draw fire from this squad with a light machine gun. Again, that will be a 7. Not moving in open, but he did not assault move. Let's see, 7. So that is a -1. No, that is not later directed fire. There's no 7 columns. 6 again, -1. Plus the wall. There's a normal morale check for everybody. Good lord. Leader first. What is he? What are you? one, so come on, you got this. You got this. He doesn't got this. He broke. Next. He's fine. And next. He's fine. However, since the leader broke, I've got to roll through that again. I will also need to mark them as first fired. These little red bingo thing shits to mark having broken. Stands out a little better than these little flipping the counter over when you play it like this. So that's what I've done. Okay. And then put this back. Let's, no, we're still good with that camera angle, right? I'm telling you, it seems like an easy thing to do, but running a game, playing both sides, and worrying about camera angles and whatnot, it's almost too much, but we're making it through. I think I could take this guy, one here, and I'm in the stone buildings before they can take defensive fire shot, but we argued he has his covered arc here. I suppose the squad could fire their inherent firepower at him, or I've got this all screwed up and I'm making it up. Let's do mark him final fire and do that. Now that's going to be 4 minus 1 minus 2, add 3 for the buildings plus 1, so it'll be 4 plus 1, right? I believe so. 4 plus 1. Let's roll it up. What is a 4 plus 1 for us? An 8 gets us nothing. We just missed a pin task check on that. We're going to mark residual fire there. Probably doing this wrong as well. But that's what I'm doing, marking residual fire. And can we bring the leader up? We can. He's going to have to deal with that. That 2 fire. I think we're good on a 2 firepower factor here. You can just eat that. We'll roll for it in a second. And these guys here will have to be subject to that as well. And I don't think I'm going to put this final squad here in the stone building hex at stacking capacity. I'm going to spread them out and put him in the woods here. And that's it as far as American movement. Now I need to roll for the residual firepower possibilities on a leader and a squad on the 2 firepower column. God help me if I mess this up. We're going to be fine. Going to be fine. And we're fine with that. Next, I'm on big roll 7, and we're fine on that. Okay, Americans are done with their movement. Everybody moved, nobody did not move. So, for the next phase, defensive fire phase, do we have anybody that's not marked final fire? Or marked at all? Fire these guys at half because he's only marked with first for some reason. Is it because he didn't have line of sight? No, he's got line of sight, so what's going on? What's up with that? Mark him area fire. 5, 6, 7, add 3, that's nothing. This guy as well is only marked first fire. I don't know why. I should have allowed them to fire because they spent more than one movement point entering that hex. Rust falling off the wheels of this wagon, guys. 6, 7, that's nothing. Okay. Anybody else needing attention? These guys. Which would be 4, 5, 6, 7. 3.5. There's no 3.5. There's no 3. Down to 2 again. Nothing there. Even before modifiers, it's a 7, so there's going to be nothing there. I think that does it for the defensive fire phase. Advancing fire phase, should be some stuff going on here. Let's move camera angle back to here and head into advancing. What is it? Advancing fire phase. Okay. One, two, three. 3 times 7 is 21. Half of 21 is 11. There's no 11. Drops to 8. Who are we firing at? Well, we've got these two hexes forming a fire group. Firing at this hex. I suppose I could run all of these 3 hexes as a fire group, but I'm not going to. Because they're going to fire at a different target, so you can't combine fire groups if you're splitting fire to the different hexes. So, these 2 hexes into the woods here, we're adding 1 for the woods. We should get something out of this. I think we're good here. And I think we did. Well, guess what we rolled? We rolled a 3, which is damn good, but you're going to add 1 to that, which is a 4. That's a +2 morale check. German morale on that squad is a 7, and +2 morale check on that 7. He should be, nope, he rolled a 3, so that brings him up to a 5. He's still good. Nothing going on there. Should have been, though. That's a ripoff. That's what that is. Then we have, these guys here. Jesus, I forgot they're all pinned. Which is half firepower. Oh, good lord. And they gotta have it again. Half of 7 was 3.5, and then what is that? 1.75. Oh lord, that would be a 3, a 2. Right? Hold on, let me get this right. 3.5, 1.75. For those 2 pin squads, that would be a 2. And then we have the non-pinned squad, which is a 7. So that brings us to 9, drops back down to 8. Firing into the woods, so +1 on the roll. We get a 5, 6 result. That is a +1 morale check. What's going on here? Well, these guys are firing into that hex there with a +1 morale check. Is that what I said? Germans have a morale 7, add 1 to the die roll. We've got a 4 and a 5. Add 1 is a 6. That German is fine. Those Americans are done. Let's move back over to the other side of the table and take care of that. If we have shots, what is the range on these? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of range, you could argue long range fire. That's not going to do anything. I don't think it would have to drop to a 2, and then you would have to add another 2 for the wooden building. Oh, why not? Might get lucky, right? Yeah, that's nothing. It's, even before the positive modifiers, it's a 7, which is nothing. Next hex, that was this hex. Next hex, got a broken leader here. That doesn't help us much, does it? 14 drops to 12. Firing, who are we firing at? We have, good lord, a 3, a +3 modifier. 2 for the buildings and 1 for the orchard, line of sight hindrance. Again, I'm probably doing that wrong. 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, that's nothing. We just missed a pin task check on them. And then 2 more hexes to contend with here. And we've got, that was that. So these 2 guys here, we've got this squad here, definitely within range, and let's roll him up. That's gonna be, what's it gonna be? Gonna be 7. Gonna add 2. We cowered. Our leader's broken. No, he's not stacked for leader. So it was what, 7? That's a 6. We cowered, drops to 4. Roll a 10, nothing on him. And then finally, this hex here. This guy's firing from the stone building. The previous hex that was fired from was here. This guy's here. We're firing into the church is what's going on. We have 14. The modifiers cancel each other out because they've got a leader. No 14, so it drops to 12. We'll roll for that. That does not. It's a 6 area of fire. Remember? Roll a 5. That's a +1 morale check. Oh. Leader first. What is that leader? -1, so let's see. So we roll for the German leader. He's fine. He rolled a 7. That brings him to 8. He's doing just hunky-dory. And then the squad. They did not do so well. They did break. Not good. Not good, as we have just 1 German squad in the damn hex, so now it's broken, and they can't move in there during the advance phase because they're 2 hexes away, so the Germans got lucky in that respect. But unless that hex is reinforced, it's going to fall fast. That was the advancing fire phase. Now the rout phase. I think we're good on the rout phase. Nobody needs to skedaddle or scurry. And then the advance phase, 1 hex. Does anybody really want to advance? I mean, yes, they do. Let's put this American squad in here, so we're not quite as densely packed in the old hexes here. I like where these guys are at here. I like where these guys are at here behind the stone wall. You could argue move here and gain line of sight. Yeah, okay. Argument, I give in. Move into the woods here. Now you've got line of sight to some folks. It's just, it's good, a good wholesome advance. And then, I like where, nope. We're definitely advancing into this wooden building next. You'd be nuts not to, and in fact, I'm moving everybody in there from this stone building. And he's good in the woods. Let's move him here. So now he's good, spread out amongst the stone wall here. Why did I just do that? So I'm liking that setup. I think that's it for the Americans. Now we go to see what the Germans can do. We're still in turn 1. Go to the rally phase. There's no close combat phase because nobody's in the same hex, so we'll jump to the rally phase. We have American leader and a German squad that need to rally, and we need to do some housekeeping, do we not? Let's do the housekeeping first. Pull off these pin markers, pull off the final fire markers, pull off the residual fire markers, and pull off the for rent signs, and you keep off the grass signs. So I think we're good on all that. Let's Let's roll up our German squad with a -1 modifier. See if he can rally. He's got a... Certainly he can do that. Can he not? You can do that. And he did. He rolled a 7. He got it anyway without the leader's help. But he rolled a very good roll, sir. Very good. Well, that's like a cinnamon roll. Good stuff there, friend. Keep up the good work. Our American leader. Is he capable of... This damn table is too big for its own good. I feel like I'm crippled when I try and walk around it. 8-1, so he's I think he's got that. I could be wrong. Let's see what the dice got, how they're feeling today. 8-1, that's good. Rolled a 6, he's good. So the only 2 broken squads rallied, and again, let's see what the Germans got. This is the prep fire phase. We don't skip prep fire phase in hop to movement. We do prep fire phase. This building is on its edge. I don't like that. Yeah, all this looks pretty good. When you bring out this now, these guys are 15 millimeter, and the buildings are I think 6 millimeter. It works though, but as soon as you bring tanks out, and I've got a ton of those, 15 millimeter armor, and put them next to the buildings, it just doesn't look right. So if we have a giant tank battle in our near future, I don't know the buildings will be incorporated unless I reprint these out. This is printed on cardstock. I could increase their size and do it that way to say 15 millimeter, but that's another story. All right, German prep fire phase. No brainer here. This German squad firing at this American squad that advanced in the advanced phase into the woods, if you remember. That's going to be straight 4. Adding 1 for the woods. Let's add 1 for the woods, why not? 7 is an 8. That is a nothing. You get nothing, sir. You get nothing. I kill you. No, actually I don't kill you because I missed. Then we have this German squad here. Firing into the woods. He's also firing into the woods. Got a 4. We roll a 7. That is an 8. That's nothing. It would have been a pin-task check, but as soon as you add 1 for the woods, that brought it out to nothing. So that's junk. That's not that I necessarily favor one side over another. I just like results. Non-results are just, they're not exciting. I want some results. We have a German squad here. That could, we have 2 here. What's the range on these guys? Oh, he's got a, what is that? Stone the Crows. It's a medium machine gun. So let's do this. Let's go back. Let's do this. Let's prep fire this guy with his medium machine gun right down the lane to the guys behind the stone building. And neglectful me, I probably should have pulled that shot off. In fact, I should have pulled that shot off during American turn when they moved that to that hex. So the Americans got lucky. That's going to be 5. 9 drops to 8. We have a leader, so we won't cower, but no modifier on that leader. And we'll add for the stone wall, right? Yes. Here we go. We rolled into 8. And once we add the stone wall, you can argue that's nothing, and it is nothing. Did we maintain rate of fire? No, we did not maintain rate of fire. We rolled a 6. Rate of fire on that bad boy's a 2. Couldn't do it. Prep fire him. Marker. All you had to do was keep rate of fire, and you just couldn't do it, could you? Was it the pressure? Is it the people watching? Alright, now we got this guy here, German squad, hanging out by himself. All good. He's going to fire these guys, this American squad that advanced in the advanced phase into the wood buildings, and that's going to be a 4. We're going to add, what's this wood building 2? Ooh, roll a 5, add 2, 7, pin task check on that guy. Can we get a 7 or less on him? We cannot. He's pinned. Not that he's, well, it has his firepower, so there's that. It's not just a movement effect. It's a no move when you're pinned, but you could, more importantly, it's having his firepower, so that wasn't a wasted shot there necessarily. Would have liked a better result, but that's what you get. Now we do have this guy here. I don't know that he's got the shot though. It's a weird angle. It's a weird angle, and I don't know if he's no. He doesn't have it because of the hill hex row. He doesn't have that shot. Does he have? He doesn't even have this shot. That brings us to these guys aren't doing crap. They're going to move up, and I think that guy too. So he may stay where he's at. Well, I mean, let's just take care of the obvious here. We've got Jason Hex double fire coming up. Let's prep fire him. That's the 4 plus 3 for the light machine gun is 7. And -1 for leader directed fire. So 14 wooden buildings, that's going to be +1. 14 plus 1 drops to 12 plus 1, and 9 is a 10. Pin task check. Jesus. Just when you think you're going to get a juicy result, man. Alright. What's it, leader first on this pin task check crap? 9 neg 2 leader, let's see what he gets, and then 2 squads. 9 neg 2 leader pin task check, he fails. 2 squads. First squad gets it. Second squad, he gets it. Come on, leader, they get it. You don't get it. You just don't get it. Leader pins. Man, it should have been way more of something than it was. Jason X double fire, light machine gun, nothing. And what did I do again? I forgot the damn rate of fire. Alright, it's German's loss, I guess. Is that it on the prep fire? We want to just move now? Yes, that's it. Because we got to reinforce that church hex. Okay. Now we go to movement phase. I'm moving these guys up to 1, 2, 3. We're fine as far as movement goes. No, I take that back. We're going here. Line of sight on anything? No. Because the hedges block that. And then we have this guy. 1, 2. Line of sight on that? Yes. 3. These guys here have 1, 2, 3. They're just in range without doing long range fire. Well, let's first fire him. So what happened? I moved some Germans up. I moved a squad up to this wooden building victory hex. I moved another squad up to behind this wall. It's best for the Germans to establish presence in this cover instead of hanging back too far and allowing the Americans to take it. So, first fire him, and it's just the squad, nothing else going on there. We're going to add for the stone wall. He gets a -1 for non-assault movement. And what is that? That is 707 drops to 6. Roll it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing. You know, that's fine. That's just, you know. other side here so we can reinforce that church hex. Let's pull this guy here. This guy being the heavy machine gun on the hill and into the wooden buildings. I'm obviously, if you just move into the hex with the buildings, you're considered in the buildings, so not really fiddling with bypass, just keeping it simple. And let's put this guy in here now. Problem with that is the Americans are going to be able to fire at him for moving there, but that's how it goes. So 7 and 7 is, oh Jesus, 14. Double that becomes 28. Drops to 24, but -1 for non-assault movement. And wood building is +2, so we're going to add +1 to that. Now, we got a leader modifier on this? No, because he pinned. 5, 6, 7, 8. What did I say? +1 is a 9. That squad gets a +2 morale check. Let's see if. Does he get a leader modifier on this? He does, so it's just a +1 morale check because the leader's in that hex. -1 leader, +1 morale check. He passes it. He rolled a 3. Good job there, buddy. Alright. Mark them with first fire. Now we could fire it again with those guys, right? A couple of reasons. The number of movement points spent in that hex, but also because they're, I think being adjacent has something to do with it. Let's go ahead and fire them again, but this will be area fire. So we will have their firepower. Mark them with final fire. And we're able to do this because the number of movement points spent for sure. So that's just going to be 7. Well, yeah, 7. So it would be 14. No, it's not. So it's 2 squads, 7 each, 14. Double that to 28. Halve it to 14. Jesus. Drops to 12. And add 2 for the buildings. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a pin task check. Really? All these damn pin task checks. Leader first, he's fine. And then, no, it's just that the squad that moved. So he's fine. In fact, on his, okay, no, he's good. We gotta move these guys up to, you know, here's a decision, right? Because we've got stone buildings here, and if Americans get those, they're effectively behind them. I don't know, that puts them in pretty damn good position. I'm putting this guy, 2, 3, I'm putting this guy here now, but he can't be fired at because he's out of line of sight. And then I'm moving this guy here. That's how we'll do it for now. I think that's it for the German movement phase, which brings us to the American defensive fire phase. Alright, this guy's marked with the first. Let's mark him with the final. And half of 7 is 3.5. There's no 3.5. Drops down to a 2. Who's firing? This American squad here, firing at this German squad here in the woods. Add 1 for the woods. What do you get? You get nothing for your trouble. He's done. What about these guys? Let's check something here. Pause for a check something here. machine gun, so that's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. Well, let's combine fire this time. 18, 19, 20, 21, that drops to 30, adding 1 for the woods. We might have our first kill. What have I done? I've combined a group fire here of these two squads with these two squads, leader directed on the hex, into this German squad at the woods, and could add this squad as well, but not gonna. He's gonna fire a different hex. Oh, 9 could have done better in that respect. Adding 1, that brings it to 10, and that is a +2 morale check on that squad. So he's at least he's gonna happen is he will break. Adding 2, and he already rolled a 10, so he did break. Now, I might change my mind here since he's already broken. Should I fire at him? No, let's do what we said we were gonna do. Fire this guy here. That's half firepower though. Drops to 2, add 1. Nothing gonna happen there. Yeah, he rolled. Yeah, he's done. Coward. This is a mess. He fired so poorly. Yeah, it's bad. There's that. Let's see. What do these guys have range to? Let's move over to the table. American defensive fire phase. These guys are already marked with final fire. We can fire this guy, and he's the medium machine gun, 7 + 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do that. Into the church hex. Ye old church hex. 11, and 11 drops to an 8. Adding 2. Coward. Got a 4, add makes 6, and it's a +1. Really? After all that? It's still a +1 morale check. Okay, whatever. Leader first. Leader is 8, -1. Let's see if the leader gets broke up about it. No, he's fine. And then the 2 squads. 2 squads in there. He's fine. And the final squad, he's not fine. So we got 1 broken squad because of that bastard with the medium machine gun. They both have light machine guns, so it doesn't matter which. Broken, and he's got line of sight to Jack's squad. These 2 have line of sight, although, no. I'm going to say he doesn't pass through the orchard hex there. They being these guys here, so that's a 7. Nope, he's out of range, so it'd be 3.5, drops to a 2. Can we combine fire with him? Let's take care of him. 2. And get the leader modifier, so it's going to be 2 + 1. It's not going to be anything 2 + 1. No, it's not. Finally, we'll look at this guy. He will be a 7 + 3. Line of sight hindrance for the orchard hex. +2 for the wood buildings. There's no 7, of course, so that means it's a 6. Roll a 4, add 3, that's 7. Get a normal morale check. Poor church hex is just getting lit up. Leader first, he's fine, roll a 7. The broken squad, let's see what happens to him. He broke again. That's casualty reduction. What is the casualty reduction on, what is it? 4, 6, 7, he becomes a 247, right? Let's find a broken 247 and replace him with that. And remember that he is in fact a broken 247. Now I don't have these miniatures marked with squad counters because they're all the same type, but this guy is no longer the same type because he just casualty reduced. What is a casualty reduction? That means he went from a full squad to a half squad and a broken half squad. And let's roll for this unbroken squad and hope that he doesn't break. What's it going to be, friend? It's going to be fine. That is it for the American defensive fire phase. Then we have the advancing fire phase. We've got these guys that moved into the behind the stone wall can fire. That's going to be 2 plus 2. And a damn thing going to happen there. And as predicted, these guys already fired. Those guys already doesn't have anything. Those guys already fired. These guys, no, no, and no. All right, so that's it for advancing fire. No, it's not. Yes, he broke. Otherwise, he could. Okay. That brings us to route phase. We only have. This guy's broken. Okay. He's already in the woods. That guy's fine. Route phase is fine. Advance phase. Germans can advance in 1 hex. Well, he's not advancing anywhere because he's broken. These guys are staying put. The squad in wood buildings, the squad behind the stone wall. The squad and leader in the woods, all staying put. The squad in these woods, the squad here, he's broken. Staying put, staying put. Let's move him here. Let's make it interesting. And, you know, if I was reckless, I could move this German squad into the wood buildings with 2 American squads and a leader, but I mean, that's what, without even doing the exact math, that's at least 1 to 2 odds, so I don't like that. I don't feel that reckless, at least yet. So nothing, no advance for the Germans. Well, we moved him here. We moved him up there. I think that's it. So housekeeping, that's the end of turn 1. We'll recap after I do the housekeeping and decide what we're going to do after that. I did some checking beforehand to make sure it recorded and the sound was working. So I think I'm good to go, but I always get nervous and think, you know, if I go 2 hours and it's not recording, that's worse than if I only go an hour and it's not recording or sound isn't working right. So what is the time-wise here? What are we at time-wise? We're at an hour and 3 minutes. I think I am going to call it and eat something, but I'll recap. And very tempted to come back to this, and I don't typically do so, but I'm tempted to come back and film some more of this. We'll see how it goes. I get distracted. I move on to other things. Okay, so what do we have? We have no casualties other than the squad, the casualty reduced in the church. We have a broken German squad here, a broken German squad, the one that casualty reduced in the church. That's it. So the first turn was somewhat anticlimactic. More of a posturing for position on both sides and consolidating forces, especially in the church. Second turn looks to be perhaps a little more hairy as we get closer to each other. But we'll see how it goes. That was turn 1 of chaos. Let's see, confusion reigns. I think it should be called chaos reigns. Confusion reigns, and this was 1944. San Marin released June 7th. And I'll be honest with you guys, I neglected to use some toys as well. We've got some bazookas, some Panzer Shreks, and mortars that I didn't feel like fiddling with. But I have those to look forward to. So I think that's it. I'm gonna cut you guys loose, eat something, and hopefully this did record with no problems. And I'll be talking to you soon. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.